10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, Wrestle Talk family, and welcome to another great episode of Wrestle Talk Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one heck of a show lined up for you. I can't wait for this night. I tell you, it's going to be great. And tonight, it's calling all freaks, ladies and gentlemen, because we got the one, the only, the great Sis Sisaki going to be joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And I can't wait to get into it with her. A lot of you already know she's got one heck of a story. You know, she's been in wrestling since she was like 13 years old. And, you know, she went up through the ranks. She ended up with a diagnosis of cancer a couple years ago. Cancer almost got her, but she was able to kick out. She's able to come back, and she is back in the ring, ladies and gentlemen, and she is doing one heck of a job. And I can't wait to talk to her and just hear more of her great story. So, but, you know, as always, I am not here by myself. And that's a good thing. Y'all don't want to hear me by myself all night.
We really don't want to hear you, even if I'm here. I mean, you know, if I pop in, they want to hear me.
Not really, but you know, it is what it
wishful
is.
Wishful thinking. But
so, you know, as you can tell, we're gonna start out with Ace over there. You know, it is what it is. I get stuck with him occasionally, but you know.
I know it, but you know you love it though. We got a good little thing going. You know, it's kind of love-hate relationship. You know.
Yeah, I hate to love you.
I know it. You didn't deny it though. So I'm jumping in here a little late, man. Have we done the sponsors? Have we done our?
Not yet. We're just getting going. All we've really gotten through is our intro, and so you know, welcome in. Great to have you, and I know here later we will be joined by Gabriel Larson. You know, he's supposed to be coming in. He's running a little late, but you know, as always, we want to go ahead and thank our great and wonderful sponsors. You know, the Wrestle Talk Podcast would like to thank Retro Zone, Painter's Dreams Productions, Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, Doomed Outfitters, which is actually ran by the one and only Ace there, and World Domination Wrestling Alliance, our partners over there. They're absolutely killing it. And of course, the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. We will have some news from the FWWC here in a little while. And, you know, I think we're going to be joined by the one and only Dewan Mills for that. And so definitely don't want to miss it. Looking forward to that. What's up, man? David Owen checking in. And dude, make sure you're tuning in because I believe some of the news that's going to be dropped later might be involving you. So, you know, make sure you're here for it. But definitely going to be a great time tonight, Ace.
And you know, being as he brought that up, I just wanted to make sure. He says, "What's up, guys? Hell of a match last night, Ace. Guys, I gotta admit, them two dragged us through hell last night. That was a great match, and I'm looking forward. Maybe House Mafia's seen it. We know y'all was, you know, ringside there up on that ramp watching what we done. So maybe that is a future indication of what's going to happen to y'all if we happen to take them titles. But just saying, we'll get into that later. We'll get into that later. Right now, we'll just get into the show, see how it goes, and you know.
Yeah, that's wishful thinking on your part, but you know, hey, so they always say it's not over till the fat lady sings.
Oh,
well,
Lord.
it's time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Now, this is my favorite part. So, everybody, if you will, take your hats off, salute this great flag in America, baby, and listen to the greatest voice ever sing the national anthem. No, brings tears to your eye every single time.
Or blood to your ears, one of the two, because I believe there's some people that might be having an aneurysm, but you know, it is what it is.
Almost caused me another stroke, but you know, it's kind of in a good way.
And you know, shout out to Assad checking in. Assad, make sure that you're watching because man, like we were saying earlier, FWWC news dropping here in a little bit. So I believe it'll be about 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern.
You know,
we'll be joined by Dewan Mills. So
you know, Sick seems like the type that would enjoy that kind of stuff. He said he enjoys it. Might be why he's called Sick, you know. Susie's here checking in. How about it, Susie?
So
not yet, Miss Jimmy.
But you know, as much fun as we always have here, you know, I think it's that time where we got to talk some wrestling. We got to find out what's going on in the world of professional wrestling because there is a lot to talk about tonight.
Tons of stuff.
So let's get into those high spots.
All right. Let's pull these up here. Get into some of these. Y'all work with me here. This brand new computer, and I'm still slow as heck. Sometimes I feel like a toddler doing this. My little 4-year-old.
Mic check, mic check. Yeah. All right. Wrestle Talk Podcast. DJ Money. Yeah. Let's go. Welcome to High Spots, where we pop news like lamb chops. We dog shop, coming through the screens of a laptop and non-stop like a runner speeches of blacktop. We hit hard like chair shots and backdrops, like a clock flash, look like a barely fly. Now that's hard. We up to speed while they stay slow. Wrestle Talk Podcast. Now they know we about to start the show.
Gotta love it.
All right, so let's go ahead and see if we can get that randomizer going here and see what we got going tonight.
Okay.
All right, the one that the randomizer's picking. Given their recent matches in AEW, do we want to see more of MJF and Adam Page? You know, Ace, I know that you have an opinion on this one. So why don't you go ahead and kick us off on that?
I'm going to go ahead and flat say, hell no. Okay, I'm sick of seeing it. I think it's pathetic. Adam Page, he's got talent, but he's almost to the point of being like John Moxley, just that nasty, overrated, All he's got for him is the major spots where it's like, ooh, wow, okay, he's getting injured. Whoop-de-doo, what next, right? This whole match, and I'll go ahead and say the last match they had that I just watched recently, a couple days ago, pure pathetic. It started off decent, and I thought it was going to be just a straight up decent match where they're like, okay, you know what? They're going to tell a story. Then it got into this whole nasty, gruesome nonsense where he literally took a dang needle and shoved it through his jaw, like through his mouth, out the other side. How pathetic does a promotion have to be to where they allow their guys to have that kind of spots? Like, you know what kind of permanent damage that does? You know what kind of just idiotic nonsense? And who would even agree to that kind of spot? I don't like them together in the ring. I love MJF by his own. I love his character. I love him on the mic. Everything about him screams champion. Yes, push him whatever you could possibly do with anybody else. As far as Adam Page, he's overrated. He's done for. Screw him. He shouldn't have never even went there to start with. That's just my opinion. I know a lot of people's going to disagree. I can't stand the guy. I think he's overrated.
Well, you know, Ace, for once, I got to agree with you. You know, I love MJF. He's great. You know, I always want to see more of MJF because you always want to know, what is he doing next? What else can he come up with? Because every time you see him, he just keeps elevating things higher and higher, you know, and I just love him. But yeah, I've never been a fan of Adam Page, you know, and I haven't seen the match, but from what I've heard of it, you know, it sounds like, personally in AEW, I've seen way too much. You know, the spots that they pull, not just in that match, but overall, I think they're going too far in their spots anymore, and they overuse them. You know,
way too much.
The spots like that are meant for a wow factor. You know, they're meant just to absolutely blow you away. But when you use them as much as AEW does, they kind of lose the wow factor. You come to expect it. It's like, yep, there they go again. Yep, there's another one. So I think they've used it too much. And by no means am I against the spots like that. You know, your high risk spots, they have their place. And I do like to see them, but not on a constant basis, you know.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, if it tells a story, by all means do it. The Hardys, okay, that was part of telling the story. I mean, who didn't want to see Jeff Hardy take like that risky jump on, flip off of a ladder, or, you know, hey, how can I get up here? And, you know, even Shane McMahon, it was part of the story. Taking it all the way back to Mick Foley when he fell through the Hell in a Cell and come off of it and everything. That was still part of the story. It was like, oh wow, it hadn't been seen before. They still continued the match where it was just like, wow, that was great. But that was like the focus of the match after that point. And everybody talked about it for years and years later. Excuse me. AEW is to the point where there's so much of it going on. Okay, you look at this match and you're like, all right, I might can remember one little bitty spot out of that was like, oh, wow, that was a little gruesome. But then like, okay, they're going to turn right back around the next spot, one up on it and do something even dumber. And it's like they're just going to get dumber and dumber and dumber with the spots. When's enough? That's my question with stuff like that. And I know that we've talked about it on the show before. If you've ever listened to Undertaker is strongly against stuff like that, mainly for the fact that, excuse me, once their body's done for, and these are fairly young guys. They're younger than I am. These are fairly young guys. So once it's done for and your body says, hey, look, I'm done, and you're in your 30s, then what does that say for the rest of your career? You're not going to have the long career like the Undertaker. You're not going to have the long career even like Shawn Michaels or, you know, Triple H and stuff like that. Randy Orton, look at Randy Orton right now. Randy Orton was smart enough to know when he could pull out the major stops. Even Shawn Michaels. I would use him as a prime example because Shawn Michaels, when we were kids, that was the one that had the wow factor. He was the one that kind of took it over the edge a little bit during some of his matches. I mean, remember the ladder match with him and Razor Ramon? He was the one that took those kind of risks to start with. But he knew when to do it. He knew how to do it to the point where it got the point across. It told the story, but it wasn't overplayed. and he still continued his career. And just, these guys are going to be banged up and in wheelchairs by the time they hit 40. And what does that really say about their legacy? What does that say about their career and their families and everything else? I'm pretty sure they got kids. They want to play with their kids and hang out with their kids. How are they going to do that when they're banged up in a wheelchair? What are you going to tell them? Like, hey, you know what? Daddy's basically a performer, but he's too stupid to actually do it the right way, and smart enough. He's not smart enough to do it safely. So Daddy can't play with you. Daddy's not going to be able to play with the grandkids because I'm stuck in a wheelchair pissing in a bag somewhere because I just took like a fall off of a 30-story building onto like 80 tables that's on fire onto a bunch of barbed wire. I mean, that's to the point where AEW eventually is going to try something stupid like that, and somebody's going to wind up dying, and then you're done. That's it. And it don't take much. Look at, and I'll go back to Owen Hart. That was a risky thing to come down from the rafters. At the time, that was considered a huge risk, and it was something different. It's injuries go wrong, and Owen Hart is a prime example of why certain things just should not be done and should be taken a lot more seriously.
Yeah, I mean, back then, like you say, that was something risky. And keep in mind, they had safety measures in place. And evidently one of the safety measures that was in place was part of what went wrong. But anything can happen. And I do get that sometimes in a match things go a little further than what was intended. I mean, I know just like a couple weeks ago, I was at a match where the guy was being quite aggressive, and he meant to be aggressive, but he got so aggressive that he slammed the other guy into the table so hard that he broke the table.
Mm-hmm.
And the table actually ended up in my lap.
Wow.
But that was not intended. That table was not supposed to be used to the point that it was broke. So it I know it happens sometimes, and it's not something that's meant to happen, but it is what it is. But I think AEW does it way too much, and there is a time, there is a place for it, but just not all the time.
Oh yeah.
So I think that we're getting to the point that we might be beating a dead horse here. Susie says that AEW does that, compete and draw from WWE, but
there's a reason why WWE is still a multi-billion-dollar company and AEW is still scraping scraps for barely 30,000 guests at a time. So you can look at it either way.
Hey, we got the man, the myth, the legend in the house. The Snitch is here, ladies and gentlemen. That Snitch, glad you're tuning in. Always love to see you. We're going to have to get you back on here very soon. I love talking to you. So look forward to having you back sometime here soon. We'll have to work on that. But yeah, so let's see what we got. What else the randomizer has in store for us.
Mm-hmm.
Ronda Rousey and AEW thoughts. Okay, well, you want me to start this one out?
I'll let you start this one.
Okay, I think you're letting me start this one because everybody knows that I am just infatuated with Ronda Rousey.
There you go. That's how I want you to do it.
But honestly, I am happy to see her back in the ring. I look forward to seeing what she's going to do, but AEW really, I'd rather see her come back to WWE if she was going to come back, or even go back to Ultimate Fighting, anything, but not AEW. I don't think AEW is a good move for very many people at all. I think AEW is almost the discount version of WCW. And WCW didn't last, and I don't see AEW lasting as long as WWE has. I just don't see it. And they are, like I said, they're the discount WCW. They really are. I think WCW is better than they were.
It's where you go when you have nowhere else to go, and that's what I strongly believe. And AEW is just one of those deals. Look at the majority of their roster is older, washed up, and now they got some young talent, but they're not even using them. Name outside of MJF, name one real good young talent that hasn't been like all over all these other shows and hadn't been like a complete reject from WWE, or hadn't been somebody that just didn't cut it in WWE. And they're like, I know a lot of people's going to jump on here and spout out a bunch of names. And if you look them up, if you look at their background and their career, half of them either failed during the tryouts in WWE, made it in NXT possibly, and got booted and just didn't cut it, or they made it to the main roster, didn't get over with the fans, and they went over to AEW. And because of the fact that, and let's be honest, the fan base is very split for all the wrong reasons. If a WWE guy jumps over to AEW, obviously they're going to get cheered for a simple fact that, you left WWE. They're not going to cheer them because they actually like them. They're not going to cheer them because they actually have talent. They're going to simply cheer them because they left WWE. That's it. And I believe this situation with Ronda Rousey is kind of the same way. I was a huge fan of Ronda Rousey when she was with UFC, MMA, stuff like that. Huge fan. When she went to WWE, I felt that it watered down her character. Like her as a choreographed performer, kind of just, for me, it didn't sit right. I watched her whole career with UFC, and I loved her just being the badass. They tried to portray that in WWE, it just didn't cut it. I don't think on the mic, which I was used to her just not talking, period. She didn't talk. She just jumped in there. She got in the octagon, beat the crap out of people, and that was it. That was her thing. I love seeing her in movies when she made cameos. I'm a Ronda Rousey fan. I didn't like her in WWE. And I think that when she left, she talked so much nonsense about wrestling and that kind of business. And it kind of put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. A lot of people jumped off the bandwagon. They didn't like her anymore. And then turned around, she goes to AEW, which to me is like a scream for attention, because wasn't they just promoting a match between her, or a fight between her and somebody else, like her comeback, to the UFC? And if she's going to do that, then why would you tarnish that by getting right back into entertainment, sports entertainment? We'll put it that way. If you're going into choreographed fights and not getting back into the real thing, what was the point of ever advertising that to start with? It's, to me, I know it's a money grab and I know it's an attention thing, but AEW seems desperate, and to me, it seems like she's attention starved. She fell off the map, lost her fan base, and she's trying anything to get it back.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people did kind of fall off with her. They didn't like her after she left. And I can understand, why a lot of people took issue with her, but it is what it is. And I would have rather seen her come back to UFC or MMA, something like that, than AEW, that's for sure. But like I say, if she was going to come back, I think she would have been better off coming back to WWE. I don't think this is going to last long in AEW. Now, I don't know why anybody stays there, honestly.
Yeah. So had she come back to the WWE, though, who was somebody with the talent they got now, the roster they have, who was somebody that you would put them in the ring with now that want to see her go against? For me, oh man, I would have loved to seen her and Jade Cargill. And I know I probably pronounced that wrong. That's just Southern. But anyway, her against Jade would have been like a great match. You had that powerhouse against somebody that is a legit powerhouse. I think that would have been a great one. Even her and Tiffany Stratton. For some reason, I would have just loved to see her and Tiffany Stratton go at it. So I believe that she would have had a bigger impact coming back to WWE because of just the talent they have now. And think about it now, you have AJ Lee back. Now, come on, Ronda Rousey and AJ Lee. Now, who would not like spend great money to see that match at WrestleMania? Now, I believe that they just missed a big opportunity. And a lot of people, from what I read, a lot of people in WWE had no clue. I don't know if she had a clause in her contract that said she couldn't compete or couldn't jump ship or whatever, but a lot of people were supposedly caught off guard at WWE that she even went on there. It was a surprise to them that she went to AEW. So I don't know if she done it as a slap in the face to them or just what the case was, but I don't know. I just don't think it's going to go over as well as she's hoping. And I really don't think, even with the AEW, I don't think it's going to go off as well as what they're hoping. She's not going to have the impact that they need to even close to compete with WWE right now.
Yeah, because I mean, who do they have in AEW for her really to compete with? I mean, that is going to be a decent match. I mean, what are you going to do? Put her up against Monet?
I mean, no. I would love to see that, just simply to watch her wipe the floor with Monet. That's just me. I'm not a fan of Monet. Everybody knows it. Whether she goes by Sasha Banks, whatever you want to call her, not a fan of her. Never have been. And how she left the business and how she's always acted, never been a fan. I would love to see her just wipe the floor with her. And if anybody needed to collect all of them titles and AEW was actually going to do that with anybody, they should have actually done that with Ronda Rousey. That's believable. Reject Sasha Banks or whatever she's called now, not believable. Can't be taken serious. Should have never been put in the position that she's in now. I mean, so that's just my opinion with that one.
But, she's already dropped 2 of those titles. So
True. And she's going to drop some more.
I hope so. I never thought she deserved all that. She is another one that is just so overrated. It's not funny, but that's a whole nother question. So let's see what else this randomizer has in store. On the Wrestle Talk podcast 5 super kick scale, what would you rate Danhausen thus far in WWE? So, Ace, I know you're kind of new around here, as far as hosting. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you have been a part of a super kick rating yet. So the way we do this is you rate it 1 to 5. 1 super kick being absolutely terrible, 5 super kicks being great, being phenomenal. So on a scale of 1 to 5 super kicks, Danhausen, what do you rate it?
Being as they have not put him in the ring, I give it a 3. I'll put him somewhere in the middle right this minute. He is entertaining. The only problem I have with that is they already have R-Truth that is already like the comedy. And unless they're going to take R-Truth and make him serious, which right now we see he's not, because he's already mimicking Stone Cold. He's away from the John Cena thing. Now he's dressed in Stone Cold, shaved his head. He's doing all this like Stone Cold. If they're going to turn him into a serious performer, that's great. Let Danhausen go ahead and be the comedy deal. I think he's doing great as far as that. The whole curse thing has taken off. It's hilarious. So I think that's going to be something great as far as entertainment wise. Right now, keep him at a 3 until they actually put him in the ring and make him have legit storylines outside of just being a backstage comedy show. I mean, put him in some matches, put him against R-Truth, or even have them team up together. That would be hands down like a 5 kick. You guess that super kick, right? I'd give that a 5 just to see him and R-Truth together. That would be amazing. As it stands, about a 3.
Honestly, when it comes to this whole thing,
Jesus Christ, she gives it a -10.
When this whole reveal came out, I kept thinking, okay, this is either going to be really awesome on this reveal as to who's in the box, or a big disappointment.
Yeah.
because that's just WWE. It's either something really over the top or just really a disappointment. And so when they got ready to reveal it, I was like, okay, I want to see who this is. And when Danhausen came out, my reaction was, really? All this for that?
Exactly.
And so I have to give his time here 2.5.
Yeah.
You know, I was completely disappointed when he was revealed, but he has brought the comedic aspect to it. And I do like that. And yes, they do have R-Truth, but prior to this, how much had we seen R-Truth?
True.
So I did feel that that WWE needed more of a comedic aspect. So adding Danhausen was a positive from that. And he has done great with the comedic stuff. But like you say, we haven't seen him in the ring. He hasn't had a match. He hasn't really had much in the way of an altercation. So all we've seen is the comedic side. So I'm going to give it a 2.5. But let's get the man in the ring. Let's see him in some altercation. Let's see the payoff for what they've done, not just the comedic aspect. Because like I say, I do agree that it needed it, and we are getting that. But if you're going to be comedic, you also got to be entertaining in that ring. So let's see what he's going to do in a WWE ring.
But it also brings up the idea, like, okay, so what are they doing with R-Truth? Because, we just said, we've discussed that R-Truth was the one that initially, originally had that role kind of thing. What bothers me is when R-Truth was released, everybody in their granny wanted to whine, they wanted to chant, they wanted to bring him back. What for? He's done absolutely nothing since he's been back. He hadn't been in the ring hardly, but where are the fans at? All them mouthy little internet fans that were chanting and talking about, oh, bring him back, bring him back. Well, he's back, and you're not chanting for him. You're not demanding matches. You're not doing anything. Basically, okay, we got him back in the business. For what? You barely see him on TV. When he is on TV, it's hit and miss. He's with Damian Priest now, so that's the only real storyline he's been in since he's been back. And even when he comes out, it's still not much of a reaction. So what was the point in having all that hoopla about him getting cut if the fans were just going to kind of treat him still as a mediocre talent to start with? Like, I mean, they still have the same reaction to him. And that kind of brings back the whole discussion about the internet fans. To me, I think internet fans are some of the dumbest fans. And I even thought that back when I wrestled. I thought internet fans was completely stupid because they have no idea how the business works. They don't know anything of what you put up with behind the scenes, how to book anything, what it takes to book that. But yet they always have an opinion, And I think that's what happened with R-Truth. So them bringing Danhausen in, I think that's amazing to take that role, because I really see them taking R-Truth after WrestleMania and booting him out the door. I really do. And when they do, I don't even think the fans are going to notice it. I really don't. I think the fans are going to just forget about him. And with Danhausen being there, R-Truth is going to be in the past. He's going to be a distant memory.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, up until just here recently with him doing this stuff, how much have you seen him?
Exactly.
So, I mean, I wasn't even sure he was still around. So, I mean, it is what it is. But
well, I seen somebody poking around in the back there, and he won't never actually sit down enough to do it. No, and then the other one, he popped in. I seen his forehead, and then he left. So when he gets situated, Mr. CEO, you can come on back.
So, I like say, I do see Arsene. He was meandering around in the back, and now he's looking
we ought
like
to he's just for
like he's confused. So, I mean, if you're ready, give us a thumbs up when you're ready, and we'll bring you in. Oh, okay. He's giving us thumbs up. So let's go ahead and get him in here. He is the young lion with the old soul that don't know how to tell time, the one and only Gabriel Arsene, ladies and gentlemen.
I just gotta say it's rich coming from me since I'm in the show late, but you guys are great at spotlighting unprofessionalism. Okay, thank you for pointing out everything that was happening in the background while I was making sure everything looks good. But how's the lighting, gentlemen? Does it look okay? I'm trying to put this in a way where it doesn't look stupid. And now I look evil.
The lighting's perfect, man. I have to keep a hat on so the lighting don't like blind everybody. So you're good.
Anyways, Wrestle Talk Podcast family, it is yours truly, Gabriel Arsen, hitting you guys up from New Jersey of all places, yo. And all the rumors here are true. No, I'm just playing. No, this place is great. I honestly love the weather here. It's great, but I can't help but feel like I have to put my 2 cents in regards to Danhausen. And I just want to ask, how did the conversation start? Because I didn't catch the lead in. So I want to know what we're talking about, what everybody feels, because I certainly have an opinion about this man, and I think it's very, very different from what everybody is saying. Let's see. What would you rate Danhausen thus far in the WWE?
Yep, on a scale of 1 to 5 super kicks, what would you rate his WWE thus far?
Now, gentlemen, what exactly did you rate him, if you mind me asking?
I gave him a 3 just because I hadn't seen him in the ring yet. He's entertaining, but I hadn't seen him in the ring. So far, just keep him in the middle, give him a 3.
And I gave him 2.5.
These guys, man, I'm telling you. No, the thing is realistically, crowd response is important, right? And I agree that it's hard to gauge somebody too close to the ball dropping when it comes to they haven't wrestled yet. But I can say with an honesty that personally, I think he's still a 4 out of 5 right now. And that's only on entertainment value alone. Because out of everything that's been going on the past couple, okay, what are we going at? What's this? Yeah, okay. It's clipping out.
The real reason is that's all I can read.
It said you're the reason for social distancing. I mean, come on now.
Okay, this guy. No, the reason I say that is because this is probably some of the most genuine reactions I've gotten out of something from a comedic superstar. Because the thing with comedy and wrestling is that you can't fake it. You either have it or you don't. And I can tell with Danhausen every time I watch him that he does. And for me, as somebody who kept up with his career for the most part while he was still in AEW and running the indie circuit, it's great to see him get to stretch his legs with the proper production quality. Because I feel like a lot of his humor works without it. But with the WWE, production value, we get to see stupid shit like him getting a giant t-shirt cannon sky's the limit as far as it, but I think you guys are underselling just how awesome that debut was. And that was in the fact that I don't give a fuck. No. And I'm throwing this out there because I can already see you shaking your head. And that is that I don't give a fuck who you are. Okay. I don't care if you guessed it. I don't care if you followed what everybody else was saying on the internet. Oh, it was Danhausen. We all knew it. Sure you did. Okay? Keep telling yourself that. You were the first person who thought it was Danhausen. Fuck off. Sorry, I'm full of piss and vinegar tonight. That debut was something different because at the very least, it was a debut for a new star. So going back, we can always look back and say, hey, this is Danhausen's moment. And the best part is that going forward, we're going to look back and be like, man, remember when he debuted out of the box? It's like, now he's here. It's crazy. So for me, that debut was absolutely what pushed me to the 4th star. If anything, the only thing that's 2.5 stars, Haas, was that fucking audience. Because I swear they were flatter than an ironing board when it came to reacting. And I'm honestly sick and tired of American fans. And I can go into a whole rant about this, but as far as Gabriel Arsen is concerned, Danhausen got a solid 4 out of 5 super kicks from me. But, it's 4 super kicks, so Joe, check it out. Quoting old Joe Bob there. No, but
you mentioned the whole comedic aspect of it, and that the whole comedic aspect is how he got 2.5 stars. If it wasn't for the comedic aspect, I would have gave him a 0. But that's just me.
This guy.
Let's see. There's somebody else in the back here, and let's see what they think. Let's see if they side more with you or more with us. Because for once, me and Ace are on the same page here, and that's not something
rare.
that happens very often.
It's kind of, I've had a little bit of wine, so I'm already a little buzzed, but that turned my stomach that we agreed on something. That's weird.
And that's the second time tonight we agreed on something. But
That's bad.
so let's get the man in here himself, the one and only, the CEO, Dewan Mills. What's up, Dewan?
This guy.
How's it
I was really hoping that you guys were going to move on to a different question.
Why you hating?
Let's push that. Because
No.
yeah. God, do you really want my opinion? Do we really want to start that conversation off
Dewan,
like that?
how many fingers am I holding up?
3.
Okay. Well, I guess we're waiting on his connection then.
Okay.
Oh.
So with Danhausen.
There you go. You're coming in now. Yeah.
Okay. So with Danhausen, I got to be honest, it's funny. It's honestly funny.
Yes.
And there's always a great entertainment value when it comes to professional wrestling. That's why we watch it. So yeah, the gags are funny, things of that nature. But there's always a work aspect. Now, I personally have never seen Danhausen work. So I can't go off of that. I don't know. So I can't yay or nay anything as relates. I mean, if somebody wants to post a match or share a match on something.
Did you got Google? No.
I mean, yeah, but I want to. Here's the thing. I always say, if you want to know how to do something, ask an expert. So there are people here who have seen Danhausen work. If they can share their favorite match or favorite,
there's a person here who's seen Danhausen's work. I
Well,
can't speak for anybody else.
I saw him in AEW, but that's
you saw him in AEW. You didn't watch him in AEW, Haas. There's a difference. All right, we are not the same. No, but you're arguing because the thing is I understand where all three of you are coming from, because a lot of it does boil down to, okay, well, he makes me laugh, but how good of a wrestler he is. And I will understand that, but, and this is the biggest one that I can throw out there, is the thing is that for a majority of his time in AEW, he didn't wrestle either. And that's not because he couldn't in terms of actually didn't know how to bump. He physically couldn't. He had a leg injury. So they just kept him on TV and let him do his thing. So the fact that this dude got as over as he did while not wrestling goes to show this man's lastability. So I'm like, even if he doesn't have to wrestle, he knows how to make it work. And quite frankly, you guys may think differently about this, but I am foaming at the mouth to see this man and R-Truth in the same room.
Oh, yeah.
And then you throw Goldust in for extra credit. No, that's never going to happen. But could you imagine the magic these idiots are going to make together if they just square up for 2 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
Well, all I can say is this. As an old head wrestling fan, I never thought the Doink the Clown gimmick could work again without the bright colors and the wig, but here we are. Just saying. Yeah, just saying. But anyway.
So you talk about a guy who can make magic. We have the man right here, Mr. Dewan Mills, who makes some magic in FWWC quite frequently. So, Dewan, why don't you fill the people in on what's going on in the FWWC?
So, we are currently on the road to Universe Mania 12. Universe Mania 12. Man, that is an accomplishment. And it's kind of cliche because I say the same thing every year. I said the same thing last year at 11, and the year before that at 10, then 9 and 8, and so forth and so on. So it is kind of cliche to say that we are currently on the road to Universe Mania 12 here in the FWWC, but it is still an accomplishment that is something to be recognized, man. When it comes to fantasy wrestling, when it comes to eFeds, all that wrapped together, man, this is a business that is worldwide. But what separates the FWWC from everybody else is its longevity, its uniqueness, its commitment to entertaining fellow wrestling fans, also being fellow wrestling fans and touching up our skills. It's not just some fantasy group we make picks. No, there are professional wrestlers that are involved in this group. There are people that have gone on to professional wrestling in this group. There's guys that studied their promos and came to this group and said, hey, does this look good? Does this look bad? We've helped people. So the Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide chapter is something on a bigger scale, and Universe Mania 12 will, showcase all of that. It's a big show, not hopping on WrestleMania, that big thing, but, Universe Mania 12 is going to be a big deal. So there are some matches that's going to be going down at Universe Mania 12 that we already know about. One of them, obviously, for the FWWC Warriors Heart Championship. That is Gabriel Arsene, you heard him speak earlier, going against his tag partner, none other than Ace. Those two individuals are going to put on an amazing show at UM12. Can't wait to see it. In addition to that, and we finally cracked the code. The code has been cracked. Rage has cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase, and he will be challenging Bishop for the FWWC World Heavyweight Championship at Universe Mania 12. That's a big freaking deal, man. Hell, I damn near forgot Rage had the briefcase. Real crazy. But I have to do some breaking news tonight. And Assassin Syndicate, you might want to pop back on here because this definitely involves y'all. Some breaking news tonight. Last night at FWWC Monday Night Mania, in a very convincing fashion. See, I already knew what I was going to do. It was already made up in my mind. It was already set. I knew what was going to go down. I knew where I wanted. I knew what direction I wanted to go. But here in the FWWC, we're workhorses. We put on matches. We showcase the talent of all the FWWC superstars. And last night, in a very convincing fashion, Assassin Syndicate beat House of Horrors. Now, what does that mean? Well, Assassin Syndicate, you knocked down technically House of Horrors twice and the champs once. That is Hoss Mafia, Mr. Hoss up there, and Badass American Diva, the FWWC Tag Team Champions. With that being said, gentlemen, you are the official and only #1 contenders for the FWWC Tag Team Championships. It is official. You're going to be doing double duty at UM12. You guys have to coexist because you will be challenging Hoss Mafia for the FWWC Tag Team Championships. Gentlemen, I heard you. You may not think I'm listening, but I listen. I may not pay attention, but I listen, and I hear you. And not only do I hear you, I hear the universe, and I hear the people. And the people are screaming, we want to see Assassin Syndicate. We want to see Hoss Mafia. So we're going to give the people what they want, baby. UM12, FWC Tag Team Championship match. Hoss Mafia defending against Assassin Syndicate. Gentlemen, the floor is yours if you have any words.
Well, you said we're workhorses, and that's what we are. And for me, I don't know, about the rest of them. This would be my third time doing double duty at Universe Mania and my second consecutive year doing double duty. So I'm all in for it. So, I mean, hey, me and Gabe's going to put on a good show with Hoss Mafia. I mean, come on, man. These guys, longest reigning champs in their division, tag team champs, us stepping up. I mean, come on. Wait, what better can you ask for? I guarantee you, just off of these two matches alone, this is going to be one of the greatest ones that y'all have ever been able to put on.
I want to try and capitalize on what I said because I also want to kind of pull the curtain back a little bit. Hoss, Susie, if you're watching, if I throw any barbs at any point that get a little too personal, please let me know. But I hope you know that, like, in full character for our scene, I'm going to throw some shots, bro. Like, I'm absolutely taking it. I don't know if you guys saw my promo the other night, but calling somebody a fluke champion is my favorite thing ever. So with that, pleasantries dispatched. This is actually my first time participating for the tag team championships in any way, shape, or form. And that might seem hard to believe. Like, I'm sure, at least in a singles, in a one-on-one scenario, I've only ever had it via, like, multi-man matches and such. And I think it's exactly when me and Ace can kind of isolate and slow down the match is where we find ourselves doing the best. And the thing is Haas, you may be the longest reigning hardcore champion, but you see, what me and Ace are planning on is making sure that this is a wrestling match, my friend. So if you could, I want to make sure you leave all your syringes, all your barbed wire, razor wire, baseball bats, sledgehammers, trash cans, and kitchen sinks that you could possibly find at home, because this ain't a fight, my friend. This is wrestling. That's right. No.
And, I got to add to that, because the last time me and Hoss was in the ring together at Universe Mania, he took my title, the one he still holds. So this year, I got to return the favor and take them tag titles.
Now, I also want to kind of, distill any speculatory, thoughts that either you, Duan, or anybody else watching might have, in the fact that how can somebody like me and Ace coexist on the very same show that we are challenging for the tag team titles as a team? We are also facing one another for the top championship here in the FWWC. How does that factor in psychologically? And quite frankly, it's not a factor, because the only factor is the X factor that me and Ace, as the Assassin Syndicate, offer to the tag team division. All right, we are regardless of the discontent we may have for another, because Ace, I love you, but I also can't stand your guts. But
my mom said the same thing.
In what context, my friend?
But right before she tried to put me underwater in the bathtub, but we'll get past that. Lots of therapy.
Precisely for jokes like that, why I hate you, Ace. But let it not be mistaken. When it all gets said and done, the Assassin Syndicate will always show up to work. No one has taken our singles titles in 2 years. I have no doubt you will not take our tag titles. That's quite the confidence for you. But you see,
on that one right there, because the only, and this goes full circle, and I got to go throw it out here for both of y'all. For one, I was one of the original contenders for that international title, and I stepped away to have a match with Gabriel Arson. Had I actually continued in that tournament, I'd have been the champ, and you would have never got that title. And as far as Hoss, the only reason Hoss still holds it is because there was a clause that I couldn't go for it. Now, you can defend against any other mediocre talent or even top talent, and that's great. But when I go for a title, I take it. And that's the only reason you still got it, is because I hadn't went for it.
And I think that goes double for the tag team championships, only because, well, yes, you did beat the longest reigning tag team champions. Winning a belt and defending a belt are two very different things. And I think I speak for me and Ace when I say the only reason that Hardcore, Toss, and Badass American Diva got as far as they did with those championships is because they never stepped in the ring with the Assassin Syndicate for that strap.
Whew.
But Devon, I do hope you enjoyed thoroughly that match last night. I think me and Ace really tried to pull out all the stops, and want to throw this out there too, because House of Horrors, a dance is only as good as the people that are involved, and without phenomenal people like you to feud with, this would not have had as much impact as it does. And the fact that it coincides with us on our ascent to the top, can't thank you guys enough. Cannibal Lecter, Sick One, we love you from the Wrestle Talk podcast. But I want to throw this in there for them, and that is that, Dewan, when can we get these gentlemen on singles matches like they've been asking? We got enough titles for it.
If you hold on for, hey Hoss, this sounds like an acceptance speech. Damn, the match ain't even happened. Damn, is this the Oscars? They're y'all ain't won yet. Holy moly! Now listen, there will be, matter of fact, Hoss, I'm gonna let you take the floor because they've said what they need to say. I'm going to let you retort, and on top of that, I'm going to let you explain exactly what your plans are for the hardcore title, because there are plans for that, but I'm going to let Hoss go because Assassin Syndicate had their acceptance speech. Floor is yours, sir.
Well, you guys can talk and talk and talk, and I was nice enough not to interrupt or interject or anything else, because I figure let you talk, because you can talk all your talk now, but when you get into the ring at Universe Mania, it's all going to be over. And we will be victorious. You see, did you ever wonder if we had a plan? And maybe the reason that you won the last match was because we wanted to boost your ego and make you think you're better than you really are?
No, because we're as good as we are without inflate. I think our track records speak for themselves, Haas. I don't think we're overestimating our abilities when we say we can beat you.
Well, we will see come Universe Mania, and I have no doubt that the Haas Mafia will be victorious no matter what you think. So, anyway, as far as the hardcore championship, there was contendership mentioned earlier. Well, there needs to be contenders decided for the hardcore championship. And there's a few people that right now at Universe Mania have absolutely nothing to do. And we want to see if we can find something for them to do. So between Dewan and myself, we had a little discussion. And I don't think we exactly set the date yet, but at least over, maybe not this Monday, but next Monday maybe, we'll let you know for sure on that. But there's going to be a hardcore 5-way match. And those 5 competitors will be Lucha DKC, Sick, Xander Payne, Jones, and Tamamara the Witch Queen. You 5 will go face to face in hardcore style. Now, I'm not saying the winner gets contendership, because I'm going to be watching. I'm going to watch your role play. I'm going to watch your promos. And yeah, I'll see who wins as well. But at the same time, I'm going to factor everything in. And when I factor it all in, we'll decide who is going to be the contender for my hardcore championship that I've held for almost 3 years now.
Man, that's a big deal for the newbies, man. That's a big deal for Xander Payne. That's a big deal for Tamara the Witch. Gabriel Arsene, Ace, throw it to y'all before I get out of here. As newbies in the group in y'all first year, man, y'all whipped a lot of ass. Y'all took a lot of names, and y'all record stand for yourself in your first year here in the FWWC. And Xander Payne and Tamara, think about it. I don't think that anybody in their first year has, had an opportunity like this at a title at Universe Mania. Like, that's a big deal. But for you two guys, man, starting out fresh, starting out new, between y'all, man, y'all experience, what advice can you give the newbies going into this match, man? Because it's a big deal. It's a big opportunity.
Take it seriously and have fun. I mean, it's all about the entertainment.
I feel like that's an oxymoron, Ace.
I mean,
take it as seriously as possible, but make sure to have fun.
You got to take it seriously, but you got to have it fun. There's a balance between business and pleasure, and that's what it's all about. You got to know what you're going for, but have fun doing it. You get what I mean? If that makes sense. And it goes a long ways. But if you love what you do, then it's not an actual job. It's it's fun. That's what you do.
Now, for me, I got a lot of pieces of advice, but I'll try my best to clip it to the essential ones. The number one thing I want to stress for all of you, and I just want to say, you guys have been doing a fantastic job. I feel so much better about this crop of talent in that I know that they will commit to this, or at least enough to where they can, make something, even if they're the most extravagant, but also just in consistency. These guys have been on their game the entire time. They haven't missed a beat, and I'm happy to see that we still have people in the FED that will be working their way up. So I'm glad to see that we still have people volunteering for the FWWC. And I'm glad that a lot of you have been making waves the way that you have been, especially when it comes to these upset victories or these shocking wins. But that is exactly where my advice lies. And that is that as much as it is effective to roll with that momentum, and you can almost get caught up in it. Everybody gets lost in the hype train, right? Because you're a new competitor, and you've won these couple matches, and then it's your first title match or it's your first main event, and then you lose, and then that sort of plays in, and a lot of people tend to not really know what to do after. And take it from me, as somebody who stands as a 3-time Warriors Heart champion, I lost just about every single match when I first started. And I can tell them off the top of my head. I believe it was Jake Wyatt. I can't remember. I have to double check. I've fought Lucky. I fought Lucky twice. I think I faced him again. I know for a fact I lost to Grim. And then I finally broke the streak, I want to say, with Heel Deal. And let it be known, I didn't win my first title for a while. So the thing is that every time you feel like you might be getting some headway, you get pushed back. But the thing is, I find that the killer instinct and the thing that'll save you in this company specifically is knowing how to roll with the punches. Anybody can win a match. It takes a pro to take a loss, pick themselves up, and keep moving forward. It's not just about not acknowledging it. And this is the number one thing I want you guys to keep in mind as my piece of advice. It's not just pretending that the loss didn't matter. Acknowledge it, embrace it, understand it, and tell everybody those ways you feel about it. Do you feel discontent? Do you feel mad at yourself? Is this the catalyst for a change in your character? Not really in your look or your appearance, but in your mentality. So just keep that in mind, and you'll do fantastic in this place. And then other than that, just be sure to say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and smoke lots of weed. And no.
I go ahead now. I will say
do drugs, stay out of school, and don't brush your teeth.
Yeah, I hear it. But now I had a completely different rookie experience. So my best advice would be, because and not to toot, I'm not saying it like in a bragging way. For me, man,
it's not a bragging way from Ace. Yeah, okay.
But I went almost a year and a half, almost 2 years, but I was in a very similar situation where my very first big event at Summerstone that year, I went for the hardcore title, and I'd just been in the company probably not even 2-3 months, and didn't lose a match for almost 2 years. So I was in that position to where I was thrown in the spotlight right from the start, but it was because of like the consistency. You got to stay consistent. You got to make sure that you are being seen, not only with the promos, but with your RPs and everything else. Just stay consistent and make it known. Make yourself known. Be the center of attention. When you start getting people's attention, man, I'm telling you, doors open up. You're gonna get very, very far in this company doing that.
And don't pretend to be something you're not. So the biggest thing is play to your strengths. Don't hide your weaknesses. Just make sure they're not as weak as they could be. But if you're not the greatest on a promo, don't force yourself to be The Rock, okay? If you're not the greatest at role-playing, you don't got to be Shakespeare with it.
I mean, Hoss is a champion. He sucks.
Jesus Christ. Hey, man.
The only worst champion we ever had was you.
I know.
I can think of a couple, but I don't know if we want to get into it.
Listen, I'm not going to take up all y'all time. We have a lot to talk about. Oh, yeah. Speaking of FED, Hoss, special shout out, because we talk about legends, man. Gabriel, you said some notable names, Heel Deal, Grim, all those names. Shout out to none other than the Lawman.
Yes.
Who goes by the system. Now, this is why the Lawman is a badass. Listen, the Lawman ain't no new cat, okay? The Lawman's been here before, multi-time champion, one of the longest reigning, second longest reigning FWC Tag Team Champions, but he goes by the system. Whenever he's departed away from us for a while, he goes back down to FED, polishes himself up, and comes up to the main roster. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I don't know when he's going to come up. I don't know what time it's going to be. When he comes up, I know what he's going for. And doggone it, he's going to get it. Period.
Now, speaking of FED, I do got to step in. I was supposed to have the card up and ready. I do have it ready. I was supposed to have it posted. Yesterday, man, was a shit show down here with storms. Like, I mean, it was tornadoes, knocked down the internet for a while. I mean, so I wasn't able to post it last night like I wanted to, and everything just come up this morning. So the actual official card for Friday night will be posted tonight before midnight, my time, Eastern time. And I know it's short notice. So as far as your promos, stuff like that, I can accept promos almost right up until, I mean, I'm going to be lenient with it. Even if you can't get them in right there before the show, I'm more focused on your performance in the show than I am about the promo. We'll work on promos. So if you get a promo in a little late, I'm not going to hold it against you.
And just to kind of work it back, but one way you guys can improve from losses is making sure that you make the rematches count. Because you see, after I'm done kicking Ace's ass at Mania, Luke, I'm coming for you. Don't think I forgot about that ordeal of iron, all right? I'm going to beat that pit maneuver. Just watch, all right? Because you may stand for justice, but I stand for atrocity, all right? I am malicious. That sounded way worse in my head.
Got to make it to main roster first. But
Yeah, another argument for another day. We'll get
So-
that is
Mr.
a question
Mills,
of
you have time
when,
for
not
one
if.
one more high spots before we go, or
Actually, I got a dip because they're calling my name.
all right. Well, thank you for making time for us. It's always great to get to speak with you. So
Peace out, guys.
thank you
Be
for
careful.
being here. All right.
Finally, let him
everybody.
leave. No,
So, all right. Well, we still got some more questions in the randomizer. We still got our guest coming up here shortly. You know, she'll be joining us probably here in about 15, 20 minutes, something like that. I do know that, you know, she's on her way home from work, so she will be joining us shortly. So until then, let's go ahead and see what else we got in this randomizer and talk a little more professional wrestling. Or actually, before we get into that, I almost overlooked it. I'm not used to having it back yet. Let's get into the shoot and shout segment.
good, because I got a lot to complain about.
So let's go ahead and see if we can get that music keyed up for the shoot and shout segment.
It's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Everything is fun, everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet's to stay away, motherfucker. It's just one of those days. It's all about the he says, she says bullshit. I think you better quit letting that slip, or you'll be leaving with a fat.
Okay, can I ask, do we not get flagged for that song?
I believe it's because of the format of it.
I don't think it's copyrighted. Is it copyrighted?
I mean, it's a song. It's got lyrics.
The actual song is copyrighted.
Yeah.
But not that version because of the change in the music and everything.
So it doesn't flag it. That's so dumb. I don't even mind though.
Yeah.
Honestly, we need it because we get struck enough, so we're good.
I was gonna say, don't complain or they're gonna do it, okay?
Yeah, true.
I'll find it now. Yeah.
And then we'll have a shoot and shout on that. But
Right.
you know, so I tell you what, Ace, why don't you start us out?
Gotcha. So my problem is, and y'all see my post. Anybody that follows me on Facebook, you see my post about the trash. You see my post about how people act in certain neighborhoods. Just because you were born and raised of a certain neighborhood, certain culture, certain idea in your stupid little beady heads that this is how you're supposed to act, please don't follow the trend, because that just makes you a mindless freaking buffoon. Common sense tells you that if there is there's an opportunity to put trash in 3 different dumpsters, you find the one that's not slap damn full and you put it in the empty ones and you balance out the dang trash. the problem I have with people, and I find it just not here, I find it in a lot of places, especially around certain parts of town, certain little neighborhoods and certain areas, that they will continuously, intentionally live like trash. That's what you are. That's what you represent, obviously, because that's you don't want to pick up your trash. You don't want to do anything with yourself to better yourself. This is I guess what I'm trying to get at is be better than where you're coming from. Be better than your background. I don't give a crap if you live in a damn little 2-story cardboard box behind the fucking BP. That is no excuse to turn out like an idiotic baboon. All you got to do is get an education, better yourself, and be better than where you're from. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Just be better than where you're from. Stop following trends. Stop following this idiotic idea that just because you're born on this side of town or born on that side of town or born with a silver spoon up your ass that you're supposed to treat people like a certain way and act a certain way. It's just idiotic. Pave your own path and use human decency, human common sense, and I guess it's just me getting old. I think that's the problem. I'm getting old. I'm getting grumpy. There's a certain damn age group I cannot stand, and it's just, I don't know. I think I'm going to be one of them old people that's going to sit on my yard, throwing rocks and waving my cane at young people passing on my grass. But anyway, that's my shoot and shout.
Well, unfortunately, you won't hit anybody young because nobody goes outside anymore. But
yeah.
Now, Haas, did you have a shoot and shout, or are you just kind of waiting for me to go off?
I can go next, I guess.
His shoot and shout is me not being on the show on time.
Well, actually, I guess it could be close to that, but this isn't directed towards you by any means. But my shoot and shout is, if you are promising to do something, make sure you do it, especially if you're a business. When you promise to do something and then you don't do it, that makes you look very bad. So make sure that you are doing what you're promising people that you're going to do, especially if it's something where somebody else is making a schedule around you, or if you're saying you're going to do it and they say, okay, well, then I can go do this because, hey, I don't have to worry about it because this person's going to do this. Make sure you're doing what you tell people to do. And if you can't do it, make sure you let somebody know. Don't just assume that, oh, well, they'll figure it out. It's very unprofessional. So that's my shoot and shout.
All right.
And no, Gabe, that's not at you.
No. Okay, so I'm going to try my very best to talk as eloquently as possible because I am at a hotel right now and I've already been shouting like just a monster, and I don't need to get kicked out, especially when I'm not in Florida. So, but I also want to try and get everybody to understand the thrust of my meaning when I speak this. Okay, so I started my day. Standard fare. I get a call. I get told, hey, there's some product that we need to pick up at the store. It's about 2 hours away from you, but you can get reimbursed for it or expense it. And I was like, sure, I'm not doing anything today. I might as well. I'm sure I'll still have time left in the day. So I'm going from New Jersey to New York, ladies and gentlemen. Not the furthest in New York, not like Manhattan or whatever, but I have to go to a BJ's, right? And so for one, this is strike one about the day. Fuck you to the non-optional roads that I had to take. Gentlemen, if I can get your faces here real quick, just so you can see this, just because I want to see your reactions. But the fact that I looked up the directions, and I specifically avoid tolls. I don't care about highways. It's always tolls because it's extra money and it's all bullshit anyways. The fact that I clicked it in and it said about 2.5 hours and it had a $20 bill, like the dollar sign next to it above it. And I'm thinking, it's not supposed to do that because I don't want to take the tolls. I clicked the start just to make sure it's working. Yeah, it says, yeah, there's no way to avoid tolls. Sorry. You're just fucked. It's like, why do I have that option? Why do I have that? First of all, why are there roads that you can not avoid tolls on is the first thing. Why they should be 100% optional. That is not up for discussion. Secondly, they are not the coin operated ones either. So I withdrew $30 just to make sure I had money, only to be that, no, we're just going to take a photo of your license plate, which makes things easier, but I'm in a fucking rent-a-car. So you can imagine that I have to worry about that come Sunday night. And then I finally get to New York itself, and the drive there wasn't terrible. Like, it was actually pretty good. I got to jam out to my tunes, so that was good for a little bit. It was when I left, right? Because I took the time. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get lunch, and that was the highlight of my day, was getting Caribbean food. It's delicious. I had plantains. I had curry chicken, and that made the day feel that much better, because I'm like, all right, I'm done. It's 2:00. I'm gonna get back by 5, and I got the rest of the day before the podcast starts. And then I type into the GPS, and I understood 2 hours is a long drive, but I was not prepared for 3 hours, 45 minutes. And it took about an hour and a half just to get out of the fucking city, just to get out of New York. It took about 30 minutes from when I entered through the bridge to get to the BJ's, an hour and a half to leave. And then the next thing I know, I'm getting texts asking, hey, you going to be on for the show tonight? And I'm like, I don't fucking know, because apparently traffic hates me today. And I had a long day. I need a hug. I'm away from my family. I have nobody to comfort me. I just want to boil it down to, but fuck the toll booths, fuck the GPS, fuck the deposit I had to take, fuck every single bit of traffic, and fuck anybody who doesn't merge without using your signal lights, and fuck anybody who wasn't nice enough to let me over, because I was thankful to have a lot of fucking good Samaritans out in the day that let me cross over. And just, you know what, fuck everybody, come to think about it. Fuck the Republicans, fuck the Democrats, fuck the centrists. Just fuck everybody. I don't hate everybody because I'm prejudiced. I hate everybody equally because I'm a person too. No, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
That was terrible. That could have been way louder.
That is 100% accurate. Like, I hate everybody equally.
You think you're special? Please. And ladies and gentlemen, never forget, I hate everybody so much because I hate myself the most. Never forget.
Screw that. I'm actually kind of awesome.
See, the problem is that people don't know if I'm joking or not. Anyways, yeah, fuck everybody now that I come to think of it. But that's my shoot and shout. Hopefully tomorrow is better, and wish me safe travels on Sunday as I fly home back to Florida. But currently in Philly, freezing my ass off. But I prefer it to burning to death.
Well, with that shoot and shout and with some of those remarks, I'd like to remind everybody that the suicide crisis lifeline is 988. You are never alone.
That's not funny. That's not funny. I'm sorry.
Dude, tell me how I thought you were going to go. The Wrestle Talk podcast is not affiliated with any of our, or what is it? The views of the members of the Wrestle Talk podcast do not speak expressly on behalf of the Wrestle Talk podcast.
No, I'm glad he put that up there, because in all seriousness, though, that is something serious, and the line of work that we do and the stuff that we get into on a daily basis, even with me having to deal with people on a nonstop deal, it gets to you, like it really does. And you come home sometimes and think like, oh my God, dude, I really am fixing to just either snap on them or just down some Flintstone vitamins and be done. But I mean, and I'm laughing about it, but that is a serious deal though,
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I didn't do that to try to offend anybody, and hopefully nobody took it the wrong way.
Dude, I just said fuck the Democrats and fuck the Republicans. I think we're fine. All right.
It was done lightheartedly, but it is a serious matter. So,
well, and if we could put that back up, and if I could kind of transition from it, just because I want to take this opportunity as somebody who is suffering with mental health, it's a very difficult thing. And I think with the state of the world in 2026, hope is getting harder and harder to find in our everyday lives because, everything seems the most bleakest. And I'm always reminded of one of my favorite lyrics, which is that, when the violent storm is over, the blue sky is more beautiful than ever. And it might seem like a lot, guys, and it always will be, but it's like it says down there, you are never, ever alone. it's never the answer to go with, because that pain doesn't go away. It just gets passed on to the people who care about you most, because people do care. You are loved. You are here. You are heard. So never forget. Be sure to call 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You are never alone.
And if you don't want to call them, by all means, man, hit one of us up on Messenger, man. Even if it's just for a good laugh, just for us to shoot the breeze and just be funny. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you everything I tell everybody else, and Ace can attest to this. But you're just gonna get spammed with me info dumping about pro wrestling, giant monsters, tokusatsu, video games, and anime. So unless you want your ear chatted off about my 12-page thesis about why I think Cody Rhodes is the shit, then just be like, hey, just call me when you need help.
And if nothing else, if you need a good laugh, pull up a picture of Ace. He's so funny looking, you laugh every time.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's see what else this randomizer has for us while we wait to transition to our guests, who should be here shortly.
We got plenty of time.
Given the recent situation in OVW, how do you feel they handled the referee Dallas Edwards situation? Oh, wow. This one's a loaded question.
Do we have to talk about this one? So does anybody want to preface what happened for the uninitiated?
I was going to say, have you guys seen this video?
I'm very familiar.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it yet, just because I'm a little scared.
I've seen a little bit. I have. I was not aware of how they handled it, but I did see the initial video itself. So kind of fill us in on it, and then,
Yeah, I mean, from what I know, and I mean, I don't know a whole lot of
anything. No.
the aftermath, but I do know the referee was hit and went down. And I'm guessing that was intentional. I don't know for sure. But when the ref went down, if you watch the video, you can see his hand shaking. He actually went into a seizure.
Oh, wow.
While he is seizing, and I mean, it is not a violent seizure. I will give them that. It wasn't a violent seizure. But you can see, like I say, you see things like his hand shaking. And so you know that, or you at least suspect something's wrong. You would think the wrestlers in the ring would have noticed it, but one of the wrestlers actually reaches down, grabs the ref, picks him up, moves him off to the side so that the ref is out of the way and he can get his spot in.
Jesus Christ.
And they continue wrestling.
Now I'm mad. Now I thought it was
at that point, you see the ref, he actually goes into seizures worse, and at that point you see his legs starting to kick and stuff like that, and even the announcers are making the remark, he's not having a good day today, is he? And it's like, really?
Fucking dying, guys.
He seized for like 3 minutes before getting help. They finally realized something was wrong. But I mean, they weren't stopping the match. They continued. They wanted to get their spots in and paid no attention to the fact that the ref was seizing. It was absolutely ridiculous.
I am going to put as much cushioning on this butt as I can, just because the only excuse for moving somebody on the floor is that maybe they thought he was selling it like death. And that is the only, and even then, you should have the wherewithal to not fucking yank somebody and throw them against the corner somewhere, regardless if they're having a seizure or not. I'm like, you shouldn't handle people like that, plain and simple.
Yeah, I mean, he just picked him up, not to his feet, just picked him up right off the mat and slid him off the side, like, oh well. And it's like,
so what was their excuse though? Did they think it was like a gimmick? Because wrestlers they knock into the referees all the time, and some of them hit the ground and twitch and stuff like that.
Because Daniel Bryan himself has done he did a fake seizure spot to lure Okada in so he could get a pin roll. So I'm like, I understand if you're doing it for the sake of like that, and you can't tell. Yeah, you're like, damn, he's selling the shit out of this, right? But the fact that I'm like, okay, but after you start to grab him, you should realize something's wrong. That he's like that he's dead weight at that point. He's not
But why
hoisting himself.
Why wasn't another referee like called out almost immediately to like either take the spot or like especially in something like and then that goes back to possibly for future reference because of this for future safety issues. You never know what's going to happen in the ring. So do you think it will be safer for them to have two referees instead of just one? Two referees from now on watching both angles of the ring. That avoids not only the stars getting hurt, but say referee, something like this happened, he can immediately call for help. But at the same time, train your damn talent. And this is what gets me is a lot of people have somebody in their family. A lot of people have like very close people that have seizures. And they should be very well educated with not only the process of handling it, but the signs of something very serious. And I think that's a failure on everybody's part that was in the ring, the announcers, the promoters, everybody. I think that's a complete failure. I think it's a shame. That man would have seriously, and we know all too well, we've had one of our own, and I don't mean to bring that up, but we know all too well that somebody can not come out of one.
Yeah,
and
fortunately,
fortunately,
the ref, I believe it might have been the same day. If not, it was the next day.
Yeah.
Actually started posting pictures from the hospital with thumbs up. The ref was okay. But still, it could have been a lot worse. In my opinion, I mean, I do understand, yes, in a spot like that, if it was intentional that the ref was to go down, yes, then maybe they thought the ref was selling. I don't know for sure.
That is the tiniest room of error I will give them. That is that maybe they thought he sold it like death. But after picking him up and putting him in the corner and seeing it get worse, I'm like, nah, you got to stop your shit after that, bro. You should know.
Even still, Ace knows, and a lot of people, they see it, and sometimes they don't realize it. And I don't want to pull the curtain back too much to reveal the magic. But if you ever notice when there's a spot, especially a spot where somebody goes down hard or something doesn't look right, a lot of times you'll see a referee or somebody, if not the ref, walk over and grab their hand and just give it a little squeeze.
Yep.
And see if there's any response back. As long as they get a response back, okay, I know you're okay. If they don't squeeze back, then oh shit, something's wrong.
Definitely.
And that's when you're going to see that big X go up. And nobody thought
the universal sign for shit has gone wrong.
That's
right. And nobody thought, let's go check the ref. Let's make sure he's okay. I mean, he's the referee. Yes, the refs, some of them, I'm not going to say all of them, because I don't believe all of them do, but some of them do train to take a bump. And yes, they do try to sell the bumps and the spots the best they can, but still, they don't have as much training and as much experience doing it as the wrestlers themselves. No. Therefore, the refs definitely need to be checked on when they take a bump, because
I think we're going to have a lot of safety and or standards and practices regarding referees going forward when they take bumps.
And they should.
Well, and my personal opinion, and I mean, I don't know that everybody has this, but my personal opinion, you need to know who is medically trained on your staff. You may not have to have an ambulance standing by or anything. You may not have to go that far, but you at least need to know who is medically trained. Those people need to be watching for something like that. And, such as, I'm medically trained. Well, I'm a former EMT firefighter.
Yeah.
So I do have some medical training. And with that, I'm sitting ringside, I'm watching that match. I'm going to know if something doesn't look right. And we know when somebody's going to do spots. We may not know every one of the spots. We may not know exactly what's going to happen, but we know when people are going to do spots for the most part, especially a major spot.
Yeah.
And, watch that. And if something doesn't look right, then your people who are medically trained, you need to have some stipulated to, hey, you can be an emergency responder. Go check on that person.
Well,
Or a lot
and
of our matches take place in a firehouse or a rescue squad, somewhere like that, where there are plenty of people trained, and they need to be ready to respond.
I keep trying to cut you off. I'm sorry, House. No, and my thing too is like I understand if it was a lower end indie event, like I'm talking like high school kid, but it was the NW or no, that was Evolve,
OVW.
right? It was
OVW.
NWA,
OVW.
and it's like
OVW.
and I'm like I know that they've been up and down with their attendance and shit, but like they're a known company. I'm like they should have procedures in case shit like this happens. Like you guys mentioned that there should be a second referee. I'm like, isn't there usually one on standby anyways? Like even if they're not like fucking for that match, like they're usually behind the curtain or like the timekeeper. Like I don't know the business like that, so I'm just kind of like I don't know how there wasn't any checks like safety in play.
Well, like prime example, when they take and like Hall said, not to pull back too far, they know when a bump's fixing to happen. They know when, and it's already predetermined. Hey, the ref's fixing to take this bump, but it's not going to last the whole damn match. Once he hit the mat, and they realize, hey, it is dragging out a little longer than what this particular spot's supposed to do. Immediately, somebody should have been like, hey, wait a minute, he's not selling it because he should have been back up by an hour. He should have at least groggily stood up and played it off into the corner or whatever the case. You get what I mean? At some point, it was just plain neglect because, okay, take the bump, but then, normally they would know and have like a second referee. Like if he was going to stay down for the rest of the match, immediately another referee would have come out, obviously because of the storyline, blah, blah, blah. But this man hit the ground, obviously from what they said on the thing, and stayed on the ground, didn't get back up. When did common sense not kick in for these guys to be like, hey, wait a minute, we got to finish the match. He's supposed to tell us when this match is fixing to end and actually count. Why is he not getting back up? That's what gets me. It's pure neglect and ignorance on their part.
Seizing for 3 minutes is ridiculous. Somebody has to notice within 3 minutes.
Yes, dude. That's my thing. Is I'm like that must be the most uncomfortable 3 minutes ever, dude. Because it's like again, everybody can attest to it. It's like it's only 3 minutes. It's like that's a long time to be having a seizure. Like you shouldn't. And just to throw this out there, because it's like thankfully I've only ever had one instance where somebody in my immediate area was having a seizure, and like I responded accordingly, and they turned out okay, thankfully. And I've heard stories and stuff like that. But for the uninitiated, if somebody is having a seizure, don't move them. That is the big thing. You have to leave them where they're at, or at least obviously not in immediate danger. Don't leave them like on a pile of broken glass, but like just you want to make sure that they finish having a seizure. So don't move them, especially because you're putting their head at greater risk of like messing their neck up. It's not good. You got to kind of let them finish.
So, all right. Well, gentlemen, I think we've.
So we're all in agreement that guy's a fucking idiot, right? The guy's involved.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I believe we've talked enough about that one, and our guest is backstage. I want to be respectful of her time. Mm-hmm. I appreciate her stepping in. She actually stepped in pretty much last minute for us, and I really appreciate her doing this. So I'd like to go ahead, if you don't mind, I'll take the introduction here.
And I will step out and let y'all have the rest of the show with her.
All right. Well, appreciate you stepping in, Ace, and helping us out there at the beginning. So.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, y'all have fun and good luck with the interview.
All right. Thank you. All right. Gabe, you're sideways.
I'm fixing it, I promise. There we go.
Okay.
Sorry, I was getting my questions ready.
Okay. So let me go ahead and introduce her here. For those who may not know her, I'm fortunate enough. I've got to watch her for a while now, and I absolutely love watching her. She's great in the ring, and she's a really great person. She's been in professional wrestling since she was about 13 years old. She was trained by Boogie Woogie Jimmy Valiant, as well as Mike Quackenbush. And you can see her. She wrestles Virginia, North Carolina, Maryland, West Virginia, Kentucky, New Jersey. She is just all over the place. And So let me bring her in. She is the one and only, the great Sis Sisaki.
Testing, testing. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
you're coming
we
in
hear
loud and clear,
you.
love.
Thank you for
Welcome to the
being
show.
here.
Glad to be here. Mwah.
Oh my gosh, we didn't have any music for this. Are you kidding me? She got the mask and everything, and it's like we don't got music for this. I know it's a last minute show, but like,
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Well,
can I just say thank you so much for being on the show tonight?
You know the problem
Of
we've
course.
been having with music.
Oh, that's true.
But yes, thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. And just thank you for stepping in. I know it was kind of last minute for you, but making everything work for us, we really appreciate it.
No worries. I got you always.
So,
I'm sure Haas appreciates that.
Gabe, I get to talk to her quite frequently, and I love talking to her. But I know you've got a lot of questions lined up, and you've been doing your research and everything. So I'm going to
try
go
my
ahead and
best
let
to.
you start us off.
I will definitely hope that I give you some good questions. To start, just to clarify, it's the great Sisaki. Am I saying this right? Sisaki. Okay.
Yeah, you did great.
Okay, so I just want to make sure because I've seen your handle and it's Sisaki or Sisaki. I don't know. Making sure.
They won't
Anyways,
let you put the great on anything.
even though it's undeniable. So I want to start for somebody who is new to your professional wrestling career. Who is the great Sisaki?
I consider her a freaky monster, but yet has sometimes goofy depending on which personality you get.
Sounds like my weekends. No. That sounds horrible. I'm sorry. Okay. So
Have
I know
that effect on people. It's okay.
I noticed. Now, I guess we can start with the most, dominant appearance trait, which is your mask. Now, as somebody who is very appreciative of masks in wrestling, and obviously culturally they mean different things. They're usually an identity for Mexican wrestlers. In Japan, they're sort of this. They're almost like a title less of one person, and everybody has their favorite luchador's mask. So it's often we hear who's your favorite wrestler, but who are your favorite wrestling masks specifically? And which ones would you say influenced yours the most?
Well, I like the Great Muda and Kabuki but like their masks really didn't influence me. I had a trainer at Boogie's, his name was Sean Christian, and he drew it up for me because I had did karate for 10 years beforehand. So I had this idea and me and him sat down and drew it. So really it was just kind of our own creation.
Now, did it pull from any specific ones? Because I see a lot of influences here. I don't know if you're familiar with the machines, but I love the lenticular on the masks where it's like, first of all, how well can you actually see out of that thing? I just got to preface that.
So I wrestled for about 8 to 10 years blind. I just got contacts recently. So it's fine.
So you're able to see effectively. Okay. That makes me feel better because I currently have glasses and I don't have contacts. So I'm like, okay, if she can wrestle blind, I can do it too.
Yeah, it can happen.
And then I'm sure you get this a lot, but the shape of the nose specifically is very Rey Mysterio-esque.
Well, when we were figuring out my mask, we'd go and we'd look at a bunch of different luchadors masks and like what's different. And then we'd look at the girl luchadors at the time, and all the girls, they had their eyes open. So that was one main thing that was like we were closing the eyes because they just too pretty. People gonna fall in love with me. Can't have that. So we just cover those up.
I fall in love with your wrestling.
You'd be surprised.
I believe it. We've been hearing that a lot tonight. No, and then, but this is a personal one.
They keep you covered up, and people still fall in love with you. So I mean, hey.
But you mentioned the Great Muda. You mentioned, Kabuki. And as the resident New Japan Pro Wrestling aficionado of the Wrestle Talk podcast, there's one name that comes to mind, and I hope you're familiar with him, and I hope you get to meet him someday, if anything. But when I see the red specifically and the way that it kind of loops over the mouth and the shape of the eyes, you're giving El Desperado. And that is the
That's
best
cute.
kind
I
of.
love that though.
That's the
I
best
love
thing to
that.
serve though, because he's badass. And I'm like, you're badass. And I've seen the photos. You get bloody enough. So I'm just thinking maybe you and him could tag one of these days. Because he
I'm
gets
down for
just
anything. I
his
need more
idea-
intergender matches.
his idea of a fun time in a wrestling match is those skewers and barbed wire and bottles. Like, it's just, the man has a devil may care attitude about it, and I respect it, but I also need you guys to tell me how to take a bump on thumbtacks, because I don't know if I'm prepared yet.
Hey, a lot of people have been wanting me to do some hardcore, so
I guess let's leave it with that then. Would you ever do it?
I mean, yeah, of course.
Now, how far would you go though? We talking like ECW, or we talking like, I want to say CZW?
I don't want to die, but you know, I'm pretty down with anything other than like the glass. I'm not down with glass that much, but I'm down with everything else.
And I can understand that. I mean, glass is very. I've seen enough videos of what goes wrong with glass to understand.
Well, and, you know, you mentioned the hardcore and you mentioned intergender matches. Well, you know, I happened to see a post on your page where you were talking about you'd love to have a match with Jason Kincaid. And I actually saw him one time at some death matches in Charleston, West Virginia. Myself and Nightmare Jones and Susie, we all went down, and I actually met him there, and we've had him on the show as well. So, you know, wanting a match with Jason Kincaid, that would be one heck of a match to see.
I am down to die for the cause. I've been wanting that. Jason Kincaid's been around since I started. Like, when I first started going into West Virginia, Jason Kincaid was there. Like, I remember him being at shows, and I've been on shows with him recently, and we've never got to cross paths that way. And I'm just like, it's a dream of mine, you know?
You know, that would be an absolute awesome match, seeing you and Jason Kincaid in the same ring. And, you know, hey, maybe we could even talk to Gavin and see if he'll book it for you.
I think it's in the works.
Ah, okay. Well, that's definitely a match I'd be down to see. So I'd love to see it.
Yes, I've been trying to speak it into existence. Am I ready? Probably not. Do I want to do it? Hell yeah.
Then you are ready.
So of course, you mentioned you don't want to die doing it. So when you talk about dying, you automatically have to go to a few years ago when you were actually down with breast cancer, and it almost, you know, you almost did die from that, but you've been able to come back from that. How hard was it to actually come back from the cancer and get back full strength in the ring?
I think it was something completely different. I'm back. It was something completely different than I've ever experienced. Like, because like even with wrestling and stuff, you know, you get injured and stuff, you have to take weeks and months off. But like, they were telling me I was going to be out for a year and a half, and I was like, I don't like being out for a year and a half because I'm going to be sick the whole time. That's horrible. So we kicked it in 5 months. So we did that. So it was, and my mom had went through the breast cancer in 2013, 14. So I had an idea.
Connected to your phone.
I had an idea of what I was going through. So I think that helped push me through a lot faster. But like, that chemo is no joke.
I would imagine. You still kicked its butt in 5 months though?
Yeah, I was out 5 months.
you're like the John Cena of cancer, bro. What the heck? It's insane. No exaggerate. This is no hyperbole. No, see, the thing is when you do it, you say, I can't see you.
Literally. Where are you? Where?
But I just have to say, because I think of people like Roman Reigns, and I just think of how, I guess what was the mentality? I mean, they call you for that sort of thing, and then just you're thinking, your first mentality isn't, oh my God, this is going to affect my wrestling. You're thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have to miss out for a couple weeks, but I want to get my next match in. I want to kick Kincaid's ass.
Literally, and I had to get right back in it because I had to cancel probably a month or two of shows, and I felt so guilty. So I just knew I wanted to come back better than ever.
And I'd say you did, honestly. That made you a stronger person after once you got through it. And the thing is you can say that now. You can say, my mom kicked its ass and I kicked its ass too.
Yeah, me and my mom, we literally got mother, daughter tattoos before we even knew any of this was going to happen.
Wow.
Surprise.
And now this might be a little weird just because I've only heard about it, but it's so, to clarify, that was breast cancer or... Okay, so the surgery, I've seen videos of where people will get tattoos over the area after the surgery is done. And I can see you definitely have plenty of tattoos. So for the sick bastards at home, did you get a tattoo over it?
I didn't even have to. The surgeon, I was already heavily tattooed up top. So
Right.
The surgeon, he did great, and he only cut off the bare minimum and was able to close it up perfect. So I just got little add-ons to make it look like it's all been tattooed over.
I love it. This is a weird comparison, but I have a hoodie that I love, and it's deliberately designed to look worn in. I accidentally spilled super glue on the wrist, and it got all dry, so I tore it off. And then my fiance helped me fray the edge so it looked like a regular tear. I'm like, dude, it looks intentional now. Great. Say I'm much different scale, obviously, but just same thing.
Yeah, I tried to just make it look like it's supposed to be like that.
I've been having this whole conversation. Haas, you had more questions for her.
But it had to be very touching, though, all the fans and stuff that were reaching out to you during all that time. How was it to have fans that reached out and showed concern for you? How touching was that?
It was unreal, honestly. You know that cancer touches everybody in different ways. There's so many different forms, and it doesn't care how old you are. But I didn't know I had touched that many lives just doing what I've been doing. Because I'm not on a main scale. I'm not this and I'm not that. I'm just me. And I didn't know that I was actually special to people.
Hey. Tell her I said my love. Aw, Susie's saying hi.
But yeah, I know that you are a very special person, and a lot of people gravitate towards you in the wrestling. I know one fan in particular that absolutely loves you, as far as Gary, and I know, when I first saw your post about having cancer, I hit him up and asked him, I was like, did you see that? And then I know he told me that he was hitting you up occasionally and stuff after that. So I know that you are very special to a lot of fans. And at first, when that all happened, I don't think I had started commentating yet for wrestling, but I was a big fan, and I know I was praying for you. Susie was praying for you, and there was a lot of them. So I find it very surprising the way that fans just gravitate towards people. It's just it's really something.
That's the good thing about the art. Everyone takes their own perspective in it. I might be bad, heel, freaky. But guess what? There's one kid in that crowd that's going to be like, that's my favorite. That's the one I want to cheer for. Because I was that kid in the crowd. I was that kid.
That's me now. I always cheer the weird stuff. Well, I mean, I use the term weird nicely. I just, I was the kid who collect. Oop, 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 oop. Okay. Oops, I broke the camera again. Apologies.
Go figure.
Here, hold on. I gotta adjust this. Professional. I promise. Yes, this is the same guy who reported at MLW. I apologize, guys. There we go.
So,
there we go.
Susie mentioned somewhere. Oh, she wanted to know about the kiss with Jason Curtis.
I like to keep men confused.
And I don't even want to know what happened when you pushed him in the room. That's
Hey, I don't, you know, he better not kiss and tell.
Although I did say the other week that was probably his handprint tattooed on your butt, but you know.
Oh, he wishes.
He had walked out after you spotted it, and he went, "Any more questions?" We love you, Curtis. No, I do want to throw this out there though, because I can see you're very attached to your mask. Now, for some people, it's more of an alter ego. For some people, it's almost like flicking the switch into your id, you know, the realness. So what is it for you? Do you feel like you're slipping into the great Sisaki, or do you feel like the great Sisaki is who you actually are, and when you get to put that mask on, you're not playing pretend, you feel like this is the genuine article?
This is definitely, when I was a kid, I always, you know, you get stared at a lot and you don't know why they're staring at you and stuff. And it's just, as a kid, I always felt like I was an outcast, but you can't go all nuts in real life. You know what I'm saying? That gets you in jail. So this is kind of like an extension of my personality, that I can get away with a lot more things.
And my bad. And what would you say was the thing that made you land on this character? Like, you had mentioned the Great Muda, so I'm assuming that's where you got the Great from. And then based on my notes, you trained in Japan.
Well, see, that's the fun thing. That's what the internet does. I went to there's a karate place around here, and the man trained in Japan,
Okay.
did Okinawan karate. So I've been but I haven't like trained in Japan.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's the internet.
It's Japanese training. It's not necessarily training in Japan. I got you. Well, thank you for clarifying that, and that's why I made sure I wrote that down in my notes. I wanted to make sure that I didn't say that like it was fact.
But
now
you mentioned her mask though, and I do want to ask you though, if you don't mind, to explain. There's a lot of people who don't understand the whole luchador mask thing and how they are with the mask. And let me tell you, Gabe, if you don't know, she is one of the most committed luchadors I've seen, because there's a lot of luchadors, you'll see them walk in and go to the back as long as there's no fans or anything, and they'll be out of their mask. And then, you know, you can see them leave and not be in their mask. And fans might see them come out the back and go, who's that person? I haven't seen them, because they don't see them without their mask other than coming and going. But when she shows up, she has her mask on. When she leaves, she has her mask on.
Well, yeah, no shit. Her hair's red. They would look out for the only person with dyed hair.
I have people who actually ask, have you ever seen her face? Have you ever seen her without her mask? What does she look like? And I always tell them, hey, she shows up with her mask, she leaves with her mask. Now, like my partner Dashing Donnie Diablo, he says he's seen her for about 45 seconds without her mask. I have seen very small times that she's been without her mask, but not very much at all. And so can you explain that to people about the luchador and why you never see their face, as far as, you know, why they won't take the mask off?
And what that means to you.
Well, a lot of luchadors do it for different reasons. Some get passed down a mask, and then some, you know, they like to keep their personal lives separate. So mine's more of when I started wrestling, I had this tendency of laughing and smiling a lot. And I didn't want to be this normal person that had like this weird, crazy gimmick. That's not that wasn't that. So I had to find a way to still be myself, but be this character. And the mask, it's like that stepping stone. That mask, once I got handed this mask, I've wore this mask since I was 15 years old. I have not took it off. I wrestled one match in front of a crowd without a mask, and no one knew who I was. And that was when I was 14 years old. So I've had this mask since I was 15. So what would I be to take it off now? It's kind of like it's literally a part of, it's like my right hand. It's my personality. It's part of me. Like, I remember when I was a kid in school, I literally had my mask in my book bag. Like,
Yes. Yes.
I was like, mess with me one more time, I'm gonna turn into Sisaki.
I took one of my championship toy belts in my backpack to school just to have it. So like, I feel that. It's so real. Now I have to ask, do you ever see yourself passing your mask on to somebody?
No.
No? Okay. That's fair.
And that was a quick no too.
Now, I have let other girls wear my mask, like for us to tag before. I've done that once or twice, and that was fun. But
we don't need a Grande Americana situation.
No.
We only need one great Sisaki.
And there's only one.
Exactly. The genuine article. Now, I guess I want to bounce this back a little bit because I wanted to clarify with the training. So I do have info of who you actually did train with here. So that is Hall of Famer Jimmy Valiant, the Boogie Woogie Man. So
that's my papa.
What was the biggest piece of advice that helped you lock in wrestling wise? And what's a piece of advice you would give yourself years ago? Like when you first started to get into wrestling, what's the biggest piece of advice you would give somebody? And just to throw one out there, for the young lion with the old soul, trying to get my foot into the wrestling business, what's a piece of advice for a young up-and-comer in the world of professional wrestling?
Boogie, he's such a down-to-earth man. And he just, from the moment he saw me, he just believed in me. And he has that tendency with people. But then the more you come and then the more you show up, and he's like, you got it, baby. You got it. You got this. And like, that's all he's got to say to me. And I'm like, yep, I got it. I got it, Boogie. I got it. And he's like, you can do this. They can do it. You can do it. And like, I've had young wrestlers come up to me and ask, like, what's the best advice you could give me? And I can always just tell them, you might can't do it like they can, but you can still do it your way.
I had to let that resonate. I was letting that sink in. And the funny thing is I'm very slowly piecing that together, and I don't want to shift the interview from you to me just because I wanted to I want to throw a couple of the catchphrases I've come up with just to see what y'all think, if I can get this over. So my biggest one that I'm really proud of, and I hope to make a thing out of it, I want to use the phrase, the only reason you don't stand in comparison is because you're not me. That's it. I just want to tell everybody, you're not me. It's not that I'm him, you're just not me. And then the other one is that I call myself, I say I'm where it's at. Turns out you don't got to look far because I'm where it's at. I am such a cringe lord. No, I like Eric being Rickham.
I want to be the titless terror from now on.
And let me tell you, she uses that, the titless thing. She'll use that at any given point. I saw a match not too long ago where somebody said something to her and she just pulled her top right up and says, "I ain't got no tits."
Oh dear.
Yes.
So,
I don't know if that's crazier than the story we got with the guy at the strip club. I don't know if you remember, where he immediately found out and just walked out. He didn't realize where he was at.
well, but we do like to let our fans, they throw questions out and comments out from time to time, and we do try to work in their questions and show their comments and stuff. And one thing Susie has asked about actually a couple times is your awesome art, because that's one thing she has at her merch table is actual art that she has drawn.
You draw?
Yeah.
Oh, we're best friends now. Hold on. I have my sketchbook too.
So she was asking about your art and how that helps you relax.
So I have a lot of rescue animals, and it's something I can do at home. So like being at home and with the animals, that's my relaxing downtime. And it's something that I can just grab one of my random ideas and just put it on the canvas.
Now, what type of art do you typically lean towards? I haven't seen pictures of it. Haas hasn't sent me. So do you go for more of like a traditional style? Do you use pencils, pens, and?
So I started painting. I started painting because I wanted to learn how to draw. So I really just paint whatever I want to know how to draw. So that's how it kind of got started. And now it's very plain, colorful, sometimes kind of dreamy, spacey. I'm not an artist, but I enjoy it.
I'd argue you are, in more ways than just making paint. And I say this from artist to artist. I'm not even just trying to like butter you up as a host right now. Genuinely, I think anybody who makes art is an artist. Your art doesn't have to fit anybody else's vibe. Now, I just want to do a quick, just because I know we're running on time here, but also I'm trying to milk out of this. But I have a couple of pieces that I've done, and call me a little braggadocious, but I just want you to give me a quick speed run and just give me either a thumbs up, thumbs down. So this one I'm really proud of, and I just like to show this to everybody. But I'll see if I can get a good shot of him. This is what I call the Pangolin E-Tranger. This is every single stupid giant action figure I loved as a kid rolled into a giant rock monster.
Oh, people are so hard to draw, but I love it.
Dude, I don't know why. I think that's why I want to get into professional wrestling, is I'm obsessed with muscles. Because I draw them ridiculously well. And yes, I did say that with full intention. Okay, I have way too many non-sketches here. I draw lots of monsters, so I'm not really a location guy. I draw ethereal things, but I love just drawing monsters.
That's awesome, though.
I grew up on monster movies. You have to give me any thumbs ups and thumbs down.
They're all thumbs up. They're all fabulous. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry. I guess I wanted to hear you say it.
She told you she loved it.
If I could strangle you.
Joke's on you. I'm into that. No, this one is it's a mantis, and then this one I think you'll really appreciate this one. This one I kind of went a little crazy with it.
Oh yeah, I love the colors though. The color scheme's so cute.
I love big thumb skulls. I like putting faces and shit that don't have faces.
Yeah.
But I absolutely need your info after this, because I would love to collab with you on something. I'm always looking for artists to make shit with, but also just to geek out about sketch work.
Yeah, I'm totally down.
Matter of fact, I'll draw a design for your mask. I'm gonna hold you.
Ooh, do it, because I've got, spoiler alert, I'm going to get my next final mask is going to be a red and gold, because I have no gold whatsoever. So
not yet.
Exactly.
Wait a minute, your next final mask?
Yeah, so I have evolved. I have 3 different stages of Sasaki. I have the beginning stages. The beginning stages. This is the second stage, and then I have a third final stage that I haven't introduced yet.
This isn't her final form, Haas.
I was going to say her final stage, that's going to have to be a long time because you're not leaving anytime soon. So we all know that. We wouldn't allow it.
I know.
Now, can we get a separate interview when you get that, man?
Oh yeah, of course. I have a purple version of it, but that was like the first like rough draft. So we're gonna upgrade that to the red and gold.
Just treat it like Mick Foley, you know? Just come on the show like 4 times and then just wear a different mask every time.
I have enough. I have about 6 different masks. So
dude, we just covered March through April. We're good. Dude, Renee's gonna love us. No,
just different ones.
I just want to say,
Sisaki.
I just want to say thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I don't mean to like just kind of derail it, but like we're reaching that point and Haas has something that we're trying to jump into and I think you'll like it. But I just want to say thank you so much for covering our asses. Both everybody on the Wrestle Talk podcast team has been hustling to try and get somebody on the show. We're looking up and down and like all the people I reach out to just don't reply back or, are like, hey, that's cool. And then just never give me a date. So the fact that you were able to come, not just on short notice in terms of like, we needed you tonight, but the fact that you literally came after work, like, thank you so much. It just,
oh yes, of course.
It means a lot. Now, Haas, did you have any more questions? Because I kind of ready to jump into this.
Okay. Well, our next segment that we have, or actually before we get into that, we do like to normally get the thoughts from one of our high spots questions. And when you came in, we were actually talking about the situation that happened at OVW with the referee. What are your thoughts on that whole situation and how that whole thing was handled?
What did you think of Danhausen? No, I'm sorry.
I love Danhausen, so whatever.
You passed the vibe check. That's
whatever. Another dream match, but okay. So I believe soon as the ref got knocked out, boom, he's down. Big guy grabs little guy. They do a backflip. They did that backflip. Big guy steps over ref one time. When that ref did not move from you doing that backflip, you should have instantly stopped everything and made sure that ref was okay. Instant. I understand. Oh, snap. One more move, but then you should have instantly stopped and checked. But I mean, they've never have ever been in that situation before. But I would have instantly, as soon as I did that backflip and I seen that ref did not move to make sure he didn't get stepped on, I would have instantly like, ref, are you okay? And like, if the wrestler would have kept trying to wrestle, I would have kicked him in the nuts. Like, we've got to make sure our refs are okay.
I'm reminded of that time that Jericho shoved the ref when Neville broke his foot. He's just like, he got himself deliberately disqualified, and I think he got a fine because they were like, that wasn't supposed to happen. But he's like, dude, he broke his ankle. Stop the match. Like, it's glad to know you're looking out for the little guy.
Yeah, instantly when he didn't get out the way, that would have been what? You okay?
The Bobby Hill special, as we like to call it.
That's my purse.
Yes. Oh my God. You have been like my favorite guest of 2020 so far.
If you love me now, you're gonna love me in just a second. Let me get this out real quick. I also have Beavis and Butthead tattoos, and I also have Towley.
Hey, okay, no, I need proof, otherwise I don't believe you.
Oh my God, I can't show you Beavis and Butthead. It's close to my bum.
Well, we just need Tally. Where's he at?
I think he's right here. I can't see. I'm blind. I'll have to send pictures.
Can you move the phone instead? No, I believe you. I needed an excuse to do the impression. Don't bring it out. Now, and then I guess we can transition into that.
She's going to come through the camera at you here in a minute,
But out of all your tattoos, you mentioned you had a mother-daughter tattoo, and that has significance, especially being both cancer survivors. But the fact that, do you have any other tattoos with funny stories or any just personal influence or something important that happened? Like my favorite detail I ask people is that if they have a clock tattoo, specifically like a pocket watch or something, ask them what the time on it is. And it's usually something like, oh, that's the time my daughter was born, or like that's, when this happened or something significant. But any tattoos like that for you at all?
So I have a lot of like I have a crystal ball. I have a heart that's like a potion. I have beautiful monster written on me. I have a lot of I rescue animals, so I have like animal names all over me. So if you see names on me, majority of them are animal names, because like they go with me everywhere I go, even if they're not here. So it's like, those are mainly like my main. But I've got literally Smile on my hand. They all kind of mean something to me, except for I got this random koi fish on my leg.
I mean, koi fishes are cool.
I know, that's why I got it, but I didn't have no reason to get it.
That can be the reason, though. Like, out of everything else is significant, but then you could be like, and then I just got a koi fish. Why?
Yeah, literally, I just got a koi fish.
You just say, I just wanted a koi fish. That's it. Just look them dead in the eye.
Well,
that's all I wanted.
She's got a red hand on her butt.
Because people look at it anyway. You got to make them look at it anyway.
I mean, it's arguably covering, I guess, if you want to.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess.
I'm going to get made you look on my butt next.
And now I'm just reminded of Steve-O getting your name on his butt.
Swear to God, that's like my idol.
But you're not going to tattoo yourself on your back, are you? Just a picture.
I mean, I might do the mask.
See?
We need coverage on that.
Okay,
it'd be cute. Hold on.
No, go ahead.
It'd be cute to have the mask with like a venom mouth.
I could draw that.
You should draw that for me. I'd get that.
I could actually draw that.
I'll get that tatted on me.
There we go. Now,
okay,
Gabe, you got to draw her a tattoo now. Don't start.
What else is new?
Man.
Now, Haas, I was going to say, were we jumping into this next bit, or?
Well, yeah, I was about to ask. So, here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, we do a segment with our guests that is called the Wrestle Talk Podcast World Famous Game Show Challenge. And in this challenge, we ask 3 questions, and we say it's the best 2 out of 3 falls, and the one that gets the most correct wins. And one of our hosts gets to challenge our guest in this challenge. So, Gabe thinks he knows more than you do about this.
You probably do. I get hit in the head a lot.
So are you up to give it a shot?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to lose, but let's do it.
All right. So we got a little bit of music here real quick that I'm going to cue up.
Don't think I'm going to go easy on you just to do it, girl.
I like it rough.
Welcome to this week's installment of the world famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Tonight's contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls. Our contestants are Wrestle Talk Podcast, Gabriel Arsen, and the great Sis Sisaki. Tonight's Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge is famous finishing moves. So, in a few moments, I will give you the name of a famous finishing move. You will need to tell me who uses that move.
Now, to clarify, it uses that move right now, or did they invent the move?
It just says who uses that move.
So what happens if you say spear? Just start listing everybody. Goldberg, Roman Reigns, Edge.
I think they're specific enough. I don't think you have to worry about that.
Okay.
So,
but also I'm going to be totally anal about this.
When you think you know who uses that move, just shout out the answer. The first person to answer 2 questions correctly wins tonight's contest. So you shout out the answer. If it's wrong, you can continue to shout out the answer until you get it right. You do not have to wait for me to finish. You just, whenever you think you know it, shout it out. Do you both understand?
Comprende.
See.
Okay. So the first finishing move, the KOD.
Bianca Belair.
Correct.
I'm gonna find where you live.
Everybody knows it's in Florida. Just don't believe all the rumors. They're worse.
All right. Riptide.
Rhea Ripley.
There you go.
You didn't even cue her up. You just said Riptide. Question 2. All right.
All right. So technically, Gabe has gotten both right. So
I still want to know
technically,
what the third one is.
We
Well,
always go to the third one.
we have the third question here. And what we'll do is, if you get this one right,
I won't.
then we'll make this one worth 2 points.
We'll make this one winner takes all. So even if you get it, then you win, despite the fact that I got the first 2.
Oh, see, I was going
Because I like you a lot.
I was going to make it 2 points so that she could possibly tie, and then we'd have the alternate question as a tiebreaker.
Well, then that's up to her. You can take
Either
the
one, I
easy
don't
one. Okay, then we'll do that then.
All right, so the third question, worth 2 points, the Black Hole Slam.
Abyss.
Yeah, that's correct.
You better be glad my brain don't work.
So Gabe has officially won.
That's it. I'm coming to Florida. That's it. I'm starting the car right now.
Well, I mean, I'm in Jersey right now, so.
That's even closer.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that part. No, I am in Florida. What are you talking about? I'm gonna just grab my car keys real quick. I'm gonna see y'all after the show.
So Gabe gets a little bit of music since he won. Let's. So congratulations, Gabe, on your win.
Congratulations.
So just
wear another mask and you can try again next week.
I mean, I do have it.
Just for fun, the alternate question. Who uses blunt force trauma?
I actually don't know that one.
A criminal.
There's actually 2 names you can use on this one, and either one would be right.
Blunt force trauma. Can I get another hint?
That's the name of a move?
I thought he was like making a joke. I was like, oh, they used the steel chair to kill somebody. Like, who did that? And I'm like, everybody in the 90s.
Blunt force trauma. And yeah, that's the name of the move.
That's crazy.
LA Knight.
Correct. LA Knight.
That is a terrible name for his finisher.
It's like out of nowhere.
Who named that? Also, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but he hits a killer burning hammer, and I've seen his actual finisher. I'm like, why is he not doing this? He should be like, look up his burning hammer when you get the chance, dude. It's so much better. Blunt force trauma?
Yep. Well, you may not know it because they refer to it as the BFT. But that's what BFT
okay.
stands for, blunt force trauma.
I don't know how I feel about that. Feels dangerously close to BLT, and now I'm hungry.
You're not wrong.
So, we do appreciate your time being here. And, as we've said many times, thank you for being last moment for us. We really appreciate you coming in clutch. But before we let you go, one thing we always like to give the opportunity for you to shout out your social media where people can follow you, and also where people can see you, where you're going to be coming soon that people can come see you.
Also, shout out anybody you know, just fan wise. If you want to say hi to somebody who believed in you from day one.
Oh man, I'm a little bit of everywhere. I'm somewhere almost every weekend. This weekend I'm in North Carolina, Sunday and Saturday, so that'll be fun. My social media on Facebook, it's Sis like sister, Sis Sisaki, and that's Sisaki. They don't let you put the great on there. And same thing for Instagram. I'm mainly on those two platforms. On YouTube, if you just look up the Great Sasaki or Sis Sasaki, I pop up. So yay, the internet's doing its thing.
So what part of North Carolina are you going to be in?
Oh, I am in Winston-Salem Sunday, and then I don't know the name of the Saturday one. I have no clue where it's at. It's in a new place, so I can't remember. Get hit in the head a lot. Cancer.
So my wife is actually from North Carolina, and then I have a real good friend who lives right across the South Carolina border, and she's moved a few times between South Carolina and North Carolina. So I occasionally go down that way. So if I'm ever down that way and see that you're down there, I'll have to pop into one of your shows there.
Oh, definitely. And South Carolina is the next license I'm going for. So.
And I'm in Jersey till Sunday, so like if you're trying to get a beer, hit me up.
I've been I went to Jersey about a month or so ago, and I'm going to Massachusetts in May, so that'll be fun. But I'm a little bit of everywhere. Follow the Facebook, and I put everything on there because that's where a lot of my friends are that are wrestling fans.
Well, I can tell you I'm following your page after this. So despite the fact that you're coming to Florida for me, I'm following your career, all right?
Hey, I've been wanting to wrestle out in Florida, but I'm just trying to slowly make my way down there. So I'll be there eventually.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Well,
right? we need you at Boca Raton.
All you got to do is call Kakoa. I'm sure he can get you on a show out there.
Yeah, I've been wanting to go out there.
So, but thank you very much, and I'm very happy to get the opportunity to welcome you into the Wrestle Talk family. We consider all of our fans, and we consider our great guests to be a part of our Wrestle Talk family, and it's a pleasure to have you as a member of Wrestle Talk family now.
Yay!
So, thank you very much. And the last thing I have is just it seems like when it comes to Sasaki, we barely got to scratch the surface on it, and so promise us that you'll come back in the future.
Definitely, and I'll have a different color mask.
Just bring all of them. We'll make a whole thing.
I'll show you from the first to the last. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, we can start the interview in the first one, and then all of a sudden you pop off the screen, and
when the lights go black.
Yeah.
There you go.
You can put the other one on, and then at the end of the interview, you can switch to the last one. There you
go. Yep.
So, thank you very much for being here, and we absolutely love you, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Yes, thank you guys. I appreciate you.
So, thank
Peace
you.
out, sister.
Great Sis Sisaki.
That was fucking awesome. I was so nervous getting up to this in terms of the actual show from the beginning. I'm like, dude, I don't know anything. And I'm like, she was chill. It's so good when a guest is chill, because then I don't feel like I'm gonna shit bricks.
Yeah, she is absolutely great, and I'm glad she could make it. And I've been wanting to get her on, and just we've had so many different people scheduled and everything that I just when we needed somebody, I said, let me give it a shot and see.
It's
I know she has a very busy schedule, so
aside from Sister Haas, it's always good when we get women on this show to remind everybody we're not just a bunch of losers.
but before we go, we definitely have to run through our sponsors here one more time since you didn't get to do the first one.
I did not. Here's my chance. All right.
Have
So
at it.
as always, the Wrestle Talk podcast would like to thank all of our great sponsors, including Retro Zone, Painter's Dream Production, that's head by Big Daddy P. Perry. We love you. The Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, Doomed Outfitters, head by Ace. He can hit you with all your commission for your needs, whether that's cups, title belts, whatever it is, he can help you. World Domination Wrestling Alliance and the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. WDWA. I was going to say Haas. When can they catch you on your next show with Gavin?
Next week, I'll be back with Elevation next Tuesday, and then Saturday, the 21st, is it? What is that Saturday?
Are you checking?
Yeah, the 21st. Saturday. Well, I didn't want to have the wrong date, but March 21st, WDWA will be back at the South Berkeley Fire Hall for another great show. They have started releasing some of the names for matches. They have announced a women's championship match that'll be going on. So definitely looking forward to that. And they're just announcing a lot of great matches. So be sure to check out WDWA, World Domination Wrestling Alliance, on Facebook and see what's going on there, and check us out on Innovation. So, just thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your continued support of Wrestle Talk. Don't forget, there's also fan sponsorships. If you would like to be a fan sponsor, hit one of us up. We'll be glad to hook you up. And ultimately we'd get you up with Renee, and he'd explain things to you and get you set up. But you can hit any of us up and we can start the ball rolling for you. And also you can send stars if you're on Facebook, and you can catch us on several different platforms, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. We're on X.
You can find me right here. It's not on all my websites, but I know for a fact my Instagram and my TikTok are this handle right here. You can find me at Gangrel, not to be confused with Gangrel. I did it on purpose. It's a double reference. I'm not going to explain it now. But you can find me there. You can find me at Gabriel Serrano on Facebook. Please be sure to hit us up. And I just want to throw this out there to the Wrestle Talk podcast family, and for anybody who's watching. No matter what part of professional wrestling you are, please let us know. We are always looking for guests, whether you're an up-and-coming talent, whether you're a referee, booker, promoter, whether you're just best friends with a professional wrestler, or whether you're a super fan at heart. Just be sure to hit us up. We would always love to hear from you, and we're always looking for new spotlights here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Just wanted to throw that out there.
So thank you for being here, and we've got more great shows coming up. I believe we already have a guest lined up for our next show. Keep an eye on Wrestle Talk Podcast Facebook page. We'll be releasing that information soon. I don't want to release it too much. Make sure the ink's dry on the contract and doesn't wipe off or anything, But I know we have a great guest lined up.
So be sure to catch it. Be sure to catch us next time at the Wrestle Talk Podcast. This has been Hardcore Haas and Gabriel Arsen, the young lion with the old soul. Thank you, and good night.